Yeah, I mean, the thing that they had the most issue with though was the accent, and you know that once I've started with a voice, I'm definitely not changing it. So yeah, it made for a fairly awkward 6-week shoot for them, obviously.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode, and they are episodes of the lack. Don't. So just when I'm just doing, obviously, let me get through the whole thing of it, because if we,
Yeah.
So I now have
start again.
I have now to start again. Hello, and welcome back to another episode, and they are episodes of the Lack of Focus podcast with me, Matt Bentley, and with me today, as usual, is Harvey Quinn. Harvey.
Hello. Good morning. It is morning. It's a good one. This that we've changed the format up a bit.
Yeah.
Slightly.
So should we give our listeners, because the viewers, that ship sailed.
Well, look. Do you know what? You weren't active enough. I didn't see the monetary value of it. I felt no impact in my wallet, and that is very much on you.
Do you mean in the sense that we had to book? So we have
cost us an arm and a leg.
We have moved from our studio in Hackney, horrible part of town.
Yeah, fired all the producers. Gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Because in many ways they just weren't helping us move forward. It wasn't. They weren't. Harvey kept hiring more and more and more, thinking, money will solve this.
Yeah.
Did it?
No, because my thinking was, Matt, the more eggs you've got in your basket, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to have maximum amount of eggs in your basket. So that's the way. That's
my
approach to
I don't think you know
producers.
fully what that means, though. I don't think you know why that's a saying.
You just want to have more eggs.
Definitely, and I see what you're. Yeah. I see what you think you mean by this.
Yeah.
But do you see how now it doesn't work with production?
More. Well, yeah, I do now. Do you know what I mean? They let us down.
Because I can give you another one, which is too many chefs ruin the pot. See what I mean? So sometimes more isn't better.
True.
And you just kept throwing producer after producer after producer of what was a pretty limited show.
Sure. But I was running with the egg analogy. Where were you when I was hiring all these producers? You could have come in with too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, oh fuck, that's way better.
That's it.
Yeah, I should have. You're right. But they're gone. They are gone now.
It is all my fault. We have left the London podcast studio. Thank you very much, guys. I know you'll be listening.
Yeah, of course.
And actually, that's actually being quite sincere, because there were good people there. They were nice guys.
Lovely, yeah.
But the fact is we outgrew you. We don't need you.
Yeah.
We have got microphones and we have a room.
That's all we need, really.
And that's all we need.
Yeah.
The camera stuff, I didn't really... To set the scene at the moment, we're sat for the first time opposite each other in my living room. Harvey's next to my lovely Christmas tree.
It is lovely.
We've got the ottoman between us, and we're sipping coffee in a much more relaxed environment. So whilst this is... Don't talk over me, just because whilst this is still very much a show, and it is a show, think of it more of like a radio production. It's going to be less about trying to entertain you. Again, we're not trying to entertain you. This is more for us. Isn't that right, Harvey?
Completely. I've always loved the regal format of radio.
Correct.
In a way. It is classic. And also, ultimately, if you want to see Matt and I, you're going to have to pay me more.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? If we're appearing on camera, and we are appearing on camera quite often, it's important that we get financially compensated.
They weren't paying for anything, were they?
They weren't paying for anything.
No. So we're very close to putting this behind a paywall as well. For the moment, we're going to keep it on Spotify. The reason why are we back? Why are we doing it again? You're so inconsistent. You come on for a little bit, you drop off for a little bit, you come in. Listen, fuck off. It's nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
We saw people on Spotify Wrapped, and we were actually in quite a lot of people's top 5 of podcasts they listen to. And the reason why that is, Harvey, is because genuinely, and I mean this sincerely, every other podcast is shit.
Well, I mean, I completely agree.
Because I don't think they're actually trying, they're not, there's a few ones that are good. I've actually fallen out of love with The Rest Is Politics.
I have as well.
Do you know why? Because they called that election so ludicrously wrong.
Yeah.
Both of them made themselves look a bit like dickheads. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I think they just
were out of touch. Why did I know that Trump was going to win and neither of them did? And I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because I have a foot on the pulse. That is the phrase.
Yeah. Finger on the pulse.
Sure.
Foot on the.
Sure.
In the boat.
Definitely.
You know.
Everyone, boats are back, but it's I knew because I followed the fucking like subsection of the internet, which clearly they didn't do.
I think this is the difference between them and us. Obviously, other than a massive age gap, this election was fought on the internet more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're as much as they've got podcasters, but they are old geezers, aren't they?
Man.
Do you know what I mean? They're just not.
They made themselves look really silly, actually. And it fucking wound me up. Because don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm like jumping for joy that Trump won, but I also was just like, he was just going. It was better just to accept it early. It was better just to be like, listen, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, deal with it
and fucking move on from it.
Yeah,
because now you can see the funny side of it. Like when he met Prince William.
He did, didn't he? Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I think. Well, look, as a public figure, and
you talk about yourself here.
Say again.
Yourself a public figure.
Oh no, Trump.
Oh yeah.
As a public figure, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Right. But I think as a politician, he's an odious man, and like I don't like Trump. But the Democrats just are fucking useless, aren't they? I think the left in general are pretty useless at the moment. Which is, I would consider myself sort of left-leaning, but like, it's just depressing. The whole thing is depressing. Anyway,
listen, we're not trying to come for the rest of politics. We're not trying to take a spot. This is to say,
there's room enough for both.
Believe me, big boy. If I wanted to come for them, I'm taking the spot.
Taking the spot.
Everything you see me as a perceived failure at is only because I haven't taken it seriously yet to do it.
Well, everything is intentional with us.
People said to me, you just watching Harry Potter films and doing a voiceover to them at your laptop on Portobello Road in 2020.
Yeah.
That's never going to catch on. I now have a podcast because of that. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? Like when I choose to take things over, I'm going to. So now I'm going to start taking this podcast seriously, more seriously than ever before, because now it's free.
It is completely free.
Now we're not spending any money on it.
I can't believe we were spending money on it.
And just to reiterate to the listener, and it is only a listener now, we have not made a single penny from this podcast.
Yeah, I know, which is mental.
It's silly, actually. And we're going to start monetizing this shit, because we can't be doing this for free.
I'm not, look, as much as you, we're not here to serve you. This is not, like, you get a lot of enjoyment for this, for nothing. For nothing.
Yeah.
Because we're putting it on Spotify, which you can use for free, I think, right?
I don't know.
I think you can use it for free.
Because they put their own adverts over the top.
Yeah, or if we put it on Apple Podcasts as well. But do you know? Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, but it gets less listens on.
Does
it? It gets more on Spotify.
That's because no one listens to Apple Music, do they?
No one. Yeah, it's shit. That was a good intro.
That was a fantastic.
Pretty good intro. Covered all the bases.
It's like we've never been away.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? What have you been up to, Matt? Oh, I'll tell you. I'm not sure if you're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Because Matt can't really, because he's NDA'd out of his arse.
Oh dear.
But Matt's been, and we'll talk. We'll obviously won't go into any detail. But Matt's been filming a little TV show, haven't you?
Oh yeah, just a little one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if by little I mean absolutely massive.
Which is, I would like to say that's the reason we've been away, because we're very, very big, and it is actually largely part of the reason we've been away.
There's a large part of it that because once I started doing the audition process for this thing, I was just like, realistically, they're going to pay me money and forward my career.
Massively.
I can't be dicking around in Hackney Central with Harvey. As much as I want to do
I know
that.
what you mean. Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't practical.
Yeah, exactly.
I had my preparation to do. I'm obviously being a bit facetious. There wasn't that much preparation. I don't know if I can say the name of the
You can't say the name of the show.
Right.
But I can ask you questions like tell me a little bit about your experience. What was it like? Because obviously, like, first big show in a while.
Oh, dude, let's not beat around the bush here. I haven't properly. I've done bits and pieces, but like in terms of IMDb credit, forwarding career, like people taking notice, I hadn't done it since before lockdown.
Yeah. It's been a weird like 3 or 4 years though for everyone, but mostly for me and you.
Yeah, very much
because
so.
we should be getting that Timothée Chalamet money.
Honestly,
anyone that meets us,
honestly,
is like, you should.
That
Why aren't you?
Stupid dickhead with his fucking Chanel advert now as well.
Oh really?
Like,
that winds me up.
Honestly, the guy has no. I actually don't. And he went to the NFL recently as well.
Didn't see
and like
it.
did like what he did like it's like, mate, big man, fuck off. I'm not articulating myself that well there.
That's all right. I think you and I both think Timothée Chalamet is a good actor.
Yeah.
And like,
no, can I say when I saw but when I saw Call Me by Your Name, I said this guy is our James Dean, right? And I really meant it because I really think that film was a film about nothing.
Yeah.
It was before it was like everything, and I've got to be really careful with what I say here because this is on the internet. Like, it wasn't it wasn't a gay relationship because they were trying to sell a movie.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
It was a beautiful story that happened to have a same-sex relationship in it and like an affair thing, and it was wonderful. And I thought like, oh my god, here we go. But then like I can't understand why. Like, Ryan Gosling a couple of years ago had a run of films, right? Back to back to back. He did, like, The Fire Squad, whatever bullshit.
Gangster Squad, yeah, that was
these terrible
great,
films. But he took it upon himself, listen, I'm omnipresent, you're going to get bored of me, I'm off for a little bit. He went away for, I think, 3 years, came back with La La Land.
There's some actors that do that really well, and that are aware of, like, Saoirse Ronan, for instance. She'll do movies, but she's not in the public eye, and like,
dude, I think Saoirse Ronan is the one.
I think she's probably I think out of all actors,
I think she's Kate Blanchett. I think she's the one.
I think she is as well. Yeah, I think her choices are. I don't mean acting choices, but I mean the roles that she chooses. Choices. And it is a career because she's got whoever's managing her is obviously brilliant.
Bro, I think she's managing herself. I think she's just staying. Like, also bearing in mind she was the little bitch girl in Atonement.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
She's been around for a minute, boy.
Yeah.
That cast, by the way, of Atonement. People want to look for, like, a great movie.
Do you know what? I've never seen it.
What are you talking about?
I've never seen it, yeah. I've seen clips of it, and I think I've seen half of it.
Don't give me clips of Atonement.
Yeah,
Atonement is probably...
I need to see it.
One of the best movies of its time, in the sense that, like, now... If they were to do it now, they would almost over-egg it.
Yeah.
It's a really simple story.
Mate, I'm a bit of a sucker for period dramas.
Me too, of course.
Like, I watched Sense and Sensibility, the Emma Thompson one that she wrote.
Okay.
Alan Rickman's in it. He's actually playing against type. He's playing kind of like charismatic, romantic. And Hugh Grant's in it, and Kate Winslet, very young Kate Winslet's in it. It's brilliant.
When did this film come out?
It came out in like 2000. It was, or like 1998 or something. But it was Ang Lee directing, and he obviously Brokeback Mountain. But it was his first English-speaking movie, and Emma got paired with him. She wrote this movie, and funny little bit of trivia, she nearly lost it. She had one copy of it on a laptop, and she panicked, and she called Stephen Fry, and Stephen Fry sorted it for her.
What?
Yeah. Cool. She told that story on QI, but she wrote it. It was that she spent like 5 years writing it, and she never wanted to play the lead because obviously it's an adaptation. But the lead was meant to be like 19, and she was like 32 at the time.
Right. And
she was like, in Victorian England, 32 is a spinster. Like, I can't play this character. And they were like, well, we'll write the character down as like 28 and you can, whatever. But she got paired with Ang Lee, and apparently she was like, his directing style from being like Chinese Hong Kong was so quite brutal. And like, she would be like, he'd interrupt takes with like, boring, bored. And then he would go up to her and he was like, she said, he'd come up to me and say something so utterly crushing, like, you look so old in this shot. Like, and she was like, I hated him at first, but I learned to like work with him, and he's brilliant. And that movie, but I watched that movie the other day, and it's brilliant. It's fucking so good. But it's period. It's like,
yeah. Let's talk about me a bit more.
Let's talk. I don't want to get away from that because
that was it. Yeah.
You
sort of went down. You took us down a whole road there,
completely
which I
different road.
And I don't want to speak for the listeners. I think they found that very boring.
Yeah, maybe.
To be honest.
Do you know what I mean? We'll write us a letter, and we'll
do write in.
Yeah, feedback is important.
Not to my home address though. Obviously.
No,
write to the email address that Harvey set up, which I still don't know what it is. What is it?
Truth doesn't rhyme. The truth doesn't rhyme at gmail.com.
Easy for you to say.
I'll repeat it again at the end of the episode just to reinforce that.
Matt,
you've been in a TV show.
Speaking of directors, so like the director on this, so I was doing Block 4. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, I don't really know what that means. Block 1, Block 2, Block 3, Block 4. When you shoot a TV series or anything, they're broken into blocks. So like films are shot out of sequence, everything's shot out of sequence. So like I was shooting in Prague, and the show I can say it's by Amazon, can't I?
I just want to add a little bit of info here.
Yeah,
it's a fucking massive show.
Yeah,
it's a fucking massissive show.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut. I think it needs to be a hit for Amazon though,
which I think
does build pressure.
Yeah,
because they have not had a string of successes.
Well, also, the Boys was good. Rings of Power, they've just invested so much money in,
To be fair, I forgot about The Boys. The Boys is incredible.
The Boys is great.
Yeah.
But what else have I watched on Amazon? I haven't really watched anything on Amazon recently where I've been like, that's
Nah.
it. So I think I think you're probably right. I think it does need to be a bit of a hit.
But like, I got to set and I was thinking, I didn't know what to expect because let's, for argument's sake, call it Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
It was like walking onto a Star Wars set, and I was just like, this is the whole point of the Harry Potter studio. Sorry to come with me on a bit of a bender.
No, let's do it.
Is that they built a concrete floor in that great hall. Everything was real. If you go to that studio, it's still there. They're using it for the new Harry Potter films. It's a real building with like functioning taps and stuff. Like it works, right? Nowadays, when you go to these big sets, it's mostly green screen and like a chair or like a burnt out car or whatever.
Or if it is practical sets, then it's polystyrene, it's prop stuff. Yeah.
They built this city.
Like actual tarmac and stuff,
Dude, like concrete, like running water, there was a rain machine, there was night for day, meaning that when you shoot at nighttime, the amount of lights and equipment they can make it look like first thing in the morning. It was ridiculous. As an actor, like, if I shock you, I need to do a lot of takes. I'm not a one-take boy. I'm gonna go again. And so you get told to go to your first positions. First position is often on the shows that I do, little comedies here and there, or adverts, whatever, 3 steps away, or back on the sofa. On this, it was halfway down the road. And they shouted action over a tannoy system. They played moody, sad music to get actors to get us into character. And even as we were doing the takes, which they'll take out the music in post, they were playing this like ominous weird music. So what?
Hey, so you were wearing a mic at this point, and they're playing music over the top.
And they're playing music over the top.
That's crazy.
I know, it's bizarre.
So I guess so ADR as well,
or the music that was playing in the studio in the soundstage is the same music they'll be playing over the top of us.
Yeah, but then it's a nightmare to get the I know, it's weird. That's crazy.
But like I have this sort of like not action sequence but movement sequence of heightened movement, and I go in like and I asked the woman who is the dialect coach because it was in an American accent. And she was very nice, and she put me at ease. I had a trailer for the first time, dude.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Dude, I had a trailer.
Yeah, trailer.
Now
it's big boy stuff. You always actually no, it's not really, but because like I'm sure like everyone listening, you know what a trailer is, and we know what a trailer is before. And we've been, but you to get a trailer as an actor, it takes probably, unless you're very lucky, it probably takes years of sort of like being an actor.
Yeah, it's before since I was 15.
Yeah, exactly, right. So. For us, it's like built up as well. So it's like fuck. It feels big time. I mean, it sounds. Silly,
I wasn't big enough to have my name on the trailer. It was my character. It was my character name on the trailer.
It always is.
Yeah.
It always is character name, unless it's like you're working with Pierce Brosnan. And then I guess it's like.
I'll say Pierce. Yeah.
Pierce. Yeah.
Of course. No, and then I basically said to her, "Oh yeah, so in this bit here, if this was an indie, I'd probably do this." And she was like, "Do it anyway."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Honestly, do
That's
it anyway.
Cool.
You got like this is your thing.
That's really cool.
And so she gave me this sort of confidence to
make choices.
To make choices. I went down to set, met the director, and I was just like, "This is what I'm gonna do." And then he came over to me and was just like, "You know what? Go more on that. Do more on this kind of stuff." And so I took the scene, and I felt bad for one of the other guys I was acting with because the more I did, the less his role became. And I didn't do it on purpose. It genuinely fit the narrative of what we were doing.
But you need again, if you're making not big choices, but if you're making considered choices and like a bit more bold choices, you need other people to not.
I know.
Because otherwise, it just completely pulls the anchor.
Everyone just goes up and up and up and up.
You need people that are just going to play completely straight. It's like that's why Heath Ledger's Joker works, because Christian Bale is playing it completely straight.
I know.
That's why it's elevated. It's elevated Heath's performance because Christian Bale is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like I think there's something to be said for like just saying the lines.
Yeah.
As an actor, because you make it way more serious. You make everyone else's performance better as well.
So it was a cool experience. I actually left the set thinking it was in Prague. I left Prague thinking, I should be doing this all the time, actually. I didn't feel lucky to be there. I felt happy to be there.
It's just a job.
But it was a job.
Yeah.
I did it, I left, and it was cool. They, butchered and then off the back of that, I went to go meet a new voice agent who was just people. If you haven't noticed already, this podcast is going to be a bit different to how it usually was. It's going to be a bit more conversational, probably more real. This is probably as real to my real personality as I've ever put on the internet.
Probably,
if I'm being honest, right? Not getting dark or deep about it, just facts. What was I going to say? It was like
voice agent.
Oh yeah, the voice agent. People underestimate me because she was saying, like, your TikTok is a bit weird, but like, fine, let's make you a TikTok star. What have you just done? I was like, I've just gone and done bleep. And she was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm the real fucking deal.
Yeah.
I can be a dickhead on TikTok and do silly Harry Potter skits and then do Home Alone walkthrough follow-ons. And also, and I said to her, the example I gave and the example I'll always give is that I had one guy at drama school, hated drama school, fucking waste of time, but he said to me, always be careful of the word should. Never think a character should be anyway, because it's going to limit you.
Yeah.
And when Justin Timberlake went from being in NSYNC to being in The Social Network within 10 years...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
You can do whatever you want. If I want to release a grime album in 6 years, believe you me, boy, I'll give it a go.
I think that's believable.
I actually don't give a shit. I actually think... The world, there's so many disadvantages at the moment to being a creative in this world, but there are so many advantages to there are no. It's what Harvey keeps saying actually.
Yeah.
You keep saying there are no rules. Do whatever you want.
There really aren't any.
And that's what I'm kind of about. Like, so I thought I came off TikTok for 9 weeks, and I felt really good actually. I felt good not being into it. Sort of just calmed down a little bit for myself, but it's mental to kill an online following.
It's good to take a break there. My girlfriend Sophie, she lost her phone. She left it in an Uber. She was without a phone for 2 days.
Yeah.
So this whole weekend, really, we picked it up on Saturday night. And she was like, after like a day or two, she was like, I actually feel so much better.
Yeah.
Just not having, she was like, obviously it's sad I can't talk to my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was like, I waste so much time if I've got a phone.
I realised I've stopped Instagram pretty much completely now. And my enjoyment of my nights out have been 1,000 times better. Yeah. Because I'm not looking at what photo I'm going to post.
I'm just present. Yeah.
And literally, cool. I was always looking at like, how am I going to make this look cool? Which was just, it's not even mental, it's just the way the world is. Yeah. But I just decided to stop doing that and sort of move on. Which is weird because we have a podcast where we think people want to hear us talk.
They do though, don't they?
But they do.
But they do, so I mean, it can't really be denied that. You were going to say you got a voice agent, you said stuff to her. I've got a meeting with a voice agent tomorrow.
Yes, you do.
I do, and I'm quite excited about it.
The voice agent world is very different, can I say? It's very bizarre. So it's like you, as an actor, you get told, here's the audition. Do you even want to do the audition? Because of the money, the payment, blah, 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 the timings, whatever. Voice agent, they just go, there's a studio on Friday for an hour, and the money's ridiculous. Yeah. And you're already through to the final stage because... I mean,
the money's ridiculous in context of like or how much we get paid normally for acting and how much time it takes to get to the point. It's not, it's...
Well, no, dude, there was the buyout recently for... a lot of money for 1 hour's work for the buyout for the year. Because it was a big branding company.
Great.
Voiceover is kind of the thing that I think will make us...
Well, it just make us a bit of money, hopefully, and so we don't have to do other jobs. Like I worked a couple of events this week, so like hospitality events. And it's fine, and I don't mind doing it, but it's like, if I could just eliminate that part and just act, whether it be voice acting, to make a bit of cash, then that'd be...
Or just do shorts.
I did a short this week.
Did you?
Yeah. You know, I told you I was unsure about whether or not to do it because there's a quite graphic gay sex scene in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't even going to offer it to you.
They offered me.
Yeah.
And I was nervous about it, and I think that's probably why I should say yes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's a challenge. And I ended up being very glad I said yes, because the production company are amazing.
How was it?
It was great. It was one day. It was 3 scenes. One scene which was just me walking into a room, basically, just like a pickup. The other one is a really lovely sequence around a dinner table, and there's like 4 characters, and I'm playing not a bad guy, but the sort of the antagonist, and I'm like probing over dinner. So, you know, a bit like the lead in Rivals. You know, he's a bit of like a smarmy.
Yeah, but not the bad guy at all.
Not a bad guy, just like
yeah.
So playing basically that, and then it ends with this scene. Intimacy coordinators and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was like legit, but it was pretty terrifying, to be honest, mate.
Of course,
it was pretty terrifying.
Even a heterosexual sex scene on camera would terrify me.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it on. I've kissed people on camera. I've done intimacy scenes on stage though, and that's been pretty horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never done it on camera, and it's way more technical on camera, but it's still ultimately you feel quite vulnerable.
Of course, mate.
Because there's like 5 or 6. It was like reduced set, so like I think there was about 50 crew, but like most of them left. So it was like I think it was just like the Steadicam operator, DOP, and the director. But it was fine. It was scary. It was fucking scary. But obviously, being the consummate professional that I am, nailed it.
Right. Got any funny stories or anything?
Well, the thing that I wanted to talk about, because obviously it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah.
By choice again. Everything
Correct.
is intentional.
Correct.
We've seen. I imagine you and I've both seen some movies and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know how far back we're going here.
Well, the last one was in August.
God, no.
Yeah, so I think a few months. So there's two things I want to talk about. There's number one we can talk about because we've both seen it, The Apprentice, the Trump movie.
Oh, yeah.
With Sebastian Stan, because I fucking loved it.
Same.
And I've seen also The Substance, which I fucking loved as well, which was... You've not seen yet, have you? Demi Moore.
No. Oh,
Anora, yeah, sick.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, my God.
I still need to see it.
Oh, my
But
God.
I've heard so much good shit about it.
Oh, my God, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
It's meant to be... You said it was a bit... It's like quite funny.
So it's Anora.
Let's start with Anora.
Anora is a film set in modern day times about a stripper in New York City who has a very rich client come in and sort of like Pretty Woman, sir. Right. But in like a very real sense, in a real world situation, right?
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to give you any spoilers.
Yeah, I kind of want to go
The film is
blind.
Basically uncut gems on acid.
So like hand cameras, movement.
Dude,
like
there is a
quite
sequence of a home invasion scene, which again has its elements of comedy. The whole thing has. But back to your point about the Ang Lee thing or whatever, or the people playing it straight.
Yeah.
It's only funny in moments because the quote-unquote bad guys are playing it down the line.
It's terrifying.
No, not even terrifying. But it's just like you really get a sense in this film.
It's real.
That the whole thing's shot over sort of 3 days. And you get a feeling that the henchmen, are doing their job.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
They're just there to do it's a fucking random Wednesday for them.
That's very cool.
And this home invasion scene apparently takes 10 days to shoot. And whoever is there's a scene in Skyfall where Bond is talking to some bird and she's like had the cigarette. And the cigarette's going down and down and down and down, and it's shot over multiple angles. They would have shot it over weeks. In this big party scene, and it won an award. Sam Mendes.
That scene.
The continuity of that cigarette going down is fucking flawless. And if you haven't seen that scene, listener, put it on YouTube and watch that cigarette go down. It's Skyfall, Craig. It's ridiculous.
Sick.
The way that they shoot this scene. In this home invasion scene, I actually can't understand how they did it with continuity wise for 10 days. It's it's so crazy. It's so manic how they shoot this scene that it won Sundance. They shot it for £6 million. It's already got a return of like 200 million. It's doing fucking...
6 million. Is that it?
Oh yeah, dude. Nothing.
That's a proper indie.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Proper indie. And it is fucking amazing. Lot of nudity.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Oh, really?
Crumbs.
I've no problem with that.
Racks on racks on racks.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, very incredibly sexual film. But
fair enough.
Fucking brilliant movie. The Apprentice.
Yeah, you saw it first and you were like, see it. It's really, really good.
Well, I texted you immediately leaving the cinema.
Yeah.
And I said both of them, Sebastian Stan and Matey Boy, what's his name?
Jeremy Strong.
Both Oscar nominations.
I hope so.
What annoys me about saying that is that I don't give a fuck about the Oscars.
I don't. Yeah.
And yet I still think it's the highest caliber that you can give something.
Well, I don't give a fuck if they win or not, but I think saying something, should be considered for it. I mean, it's basically me saying that's how good I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking really good. I think both of them. I mean, Jeremy Strong, obviously, but I think particularly Sebastian Stan. Yeah. That's a weird role to get.
Trump.
And yeah, and be like, okay, and also it doesn't sugarcoat anything. It plays it pretty straight. They show him being quite charismatic and charming at the beginning because he is, he must be. You know, he's won the fucking election twice.
He still
despite literally being recorded on camera recorded on audio saying grab her by the pussy.
Yeah,
that does not matter to the voter base apparently.
But I mean,
mad.
The thing is, like it's what they got wrong with Coogan's
Savile. What was it called?
Savile.
The Reckoning.
The Reckoning, because Savile, at some point in history, I don't care, he must have made people laugh. He must have made people,
to get into
charm people.
To get into that position.
And in The Reckoning with Coogan, they just come out hot. This is the bad guy.
This is the bad guy, yeah.
And you shouldn't have done that. I
wanted to see him be
with Trump.
human.
You're just like, this guy is fucking endearing, man. Like,
well, and also,
as a young man in New York, arriving in New York, you're like, whoa, okay.
You said this to me, and I completely agree. It's
probably pearl of wisdom here.
Sebastian Stan he's not really doing an impression of Trump. I mean, he is, but
it's not an SNL
impression. But it's he's playing as a human being, and there's like shades of the man we see as Trump, the modern Trump, in that performance, but it's like 3 or 4 shades of him, like the arrogance, the lying, the manipulation,
the disdain for his father, as well, like the running away from his history, which in anyone else's book would have been an incredibly successful father in business, but he has utter disdain for them. Sebastian Stan is. I had an opportunity to work with him once on a TV show.
What was it?
It was with Dakota Fanning, or one of the Fanning girls.
Oh, okay, fine.
TV show, and I got really, really close to it, and it was for him that I would have wanted to do it because he's just so fucking amazing.
I think he's great.
And I think then Jeremy Strong irritates me as an artist.
Me too. Yeah.
He's just the most pretentious
He's
guy
a method
in the world.
actor.
I don't, but there's no such thing as a method actor.
I agree.
He's stupid.
But but Brian Cox, even recently, he was interviewed again, and he said, he was like, nothing against Jeremy. We had good scenes together, but I think he would get further if he let go this stupid like Stella Adler, Lee Strasberg thing.
Yeah.
He was like, it's so unnecessary.
So lame, mate.
It is unnecessary, and then Patterson said, he was like, no one ever method acts a good guy, do they?
Completely. And it's actually Patterson just again getting it right.
Getting it right again.
Just being a top legend. Honestly,
I love that man.
Rob P's a legend, man.
Yeah. You told me to go back and watch the promo of Twilight because
he's hilarious.
I think I said to Matt earlier this week. I was like, the man's just so cool. He obviously doesn't give a fuck. And you watch those old interviews of Twilight promotion, and you can just tell he just does not want to be there.
No, he's just completely checked out. So I think that the last. The last reluctant leader of the world, is Queen Elizabeth II.
Right.
So I am wary of anybody who wants to be in charge of anything.
Yeah.
Right? So, and people who want to be billionaires freak me out. People who want to be powerful freak me out.
Famous. You know what I mean? I really want to be famous.
I want to be famous.
Why famous?
I wanted to be famous when I was 16.
Yeah, you're a teenager.
And it's very different now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, now I want to be successful and work. It's different.
Yeah.
And notoriety and being people know you come from. But the Queen Elizabeth II didn't want any of it, and this is why she was so successful at it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now every single other person, who we were just talking about then, with Rob Pattinson.
Rob Pattinson, yeah.
Comparing him to Barry Keoghan now.
It's night and day.
It's like, honestly, Barry Keoghan doesn't hold a candle to Rob Pattinson.
No, I agree.
And also, what annoys me is that you don't like the movie Remember Me.
I don't like that movie, no, but only because of the boom 9/11 at the end.
It's 9/11.
Yeah, it's like, well, you just got 9/11. It's like, what? We got 9/11. Yeah, I just feel that it's just too cheap a tactic. It's too on the nose. A rug pull.
Do you know what it's comparable to? And this is why I think it's good. When you watch Layer Cake. Watch that movie again, and you realise you never find out Daniel Craig's name.
Always on about Layer Cake.
It's an amazing
banging.
movie,
it is banging.
Right? And you never find out his name. You never find out what year it's set in, right?
Yeah.
And in Remember Me, Rob Pattinson is never on a phone. You never know what year they're in.
Yeah.
There are moments of clever little nuances here.
The moments, but the ending.
And
is
if they
just
shot
so
that
ridiculous.
film through less of a glossy lens and made it less of a coming of age story,
Yeah.
you could have publicized that to be like a completely different film.
I don't want to say, I don't want to share it too much because it's got Pierce Brosnan in it, and you know how I feel about Pierce, friend of the show.
You're responsible to no one. Fucking amazing.
Amazing. He is. He's a friend of the show. Again, Pierce,
show.
if you're listening, well done for that performance because it was fucking good. That and Taffin.
What's that?
So, have you not seen Taffin? That's the one where he's famously, well, maybe you shouldn't be living here. You know?
Yeah.
Classic performance, Pierce. Thank you.
That is so mental that he did that.
It's mad.
Big choices though.
Bold. Yeah, and he was a young Irish man.
But he always looked about 36.
Yeah, he's always been 36. Even now, he looks like...
He was born 36.
You know what I mean? He looks very good now, Pierce.
I think
Pierce, loving the
He's
suit.
pretty disassociated from his son though, which isn't great.
Oh, that's all. Boo-hoo.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
But less about that then. Let Pierce just...
Yeah.
Just keep your chin up. What else were we going to talk about? There's one thing I want to talk about. So yeah, Apprentice, brilliant. Go see it. Sebastian Stan, fantastic. Don't want to give too much away because again, like
came out 2 months ago, but go see it.
Do you know what though? Yeah. Go see it.
When are we?
If Trump didn't become president ever, that movie's still banging.
Oh yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Good point.
Because he became Trump. It's an origin story. But without him becoming president, it's still a fucking banging movie.
Yeah.
It's still banging, and like there's stuff like him, like Roy Cohn. I don't want to. I was going to say about the ending, but you know, people haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's brilliant. What isn't brilliant, however, and it gets worse the more I think about it. Actually, every day that I'm separated from that movie, I hate even more.
Wow.
Gladiator 2.
Won't watch it.
It is.
I won't watch it.
It's a little sequel to a movie made in 2000 by Ridley Scott, Gladiator. With
Ridley, friend of the show, close friend of mine.
Yeah, close friend of mine, Ridley. Sir Ridley, I think. Is it Sir Ridley?
No,
it is Sir Ridley.
I think he rejected the
He
line.
rejected it. Okay, fine. So Ridley Scott. Okay, so the first movie is I rewatched it again recently. It's fantastic. It's fantastic and it has no right to be that fantastic. But because they started filming with 40 pages.
Yeah.
They were writing the movie as they were filming, which is obscene. But it's still...
Also, by the way, you've got a 32-year-old
Russell Crowe, yeah. And it was a movie that really made him.
You do need to remember that once upon a time, these big fucking movie stars were...
He was basically unknown.
Boys.
Yeah, he was basically an unknown at that point as well. He'd done movies, but it was the movie that made him famous. So he's really, to be fair to him, cast an unknown, and it made Russell Crowe the star that he is, and it made him a sex icon, all that stuff, right?
Joaquin Phoenix is 21 in that film.
He's 24.
24,
But every character makes sense in Gladiator, not because of exposition, but because they show, they don't tell. So the reason Commodus as a character is like kind of sour and bitter and like twisted and like kind of a bit evil is because he's been neglected by his father Marcus Aurelius, and Marcus says that in the speech where he gets killed. He's like your failures as a son and my faults as a father. And because Commodus is like, oh, none of the qualities that I have are on your list, and he's like crying, and then he kills him. It makes sense. And then
spoiler alert, that's 20 years ago. Yeah, 24 years ago.
24 years ago. But you see that character. There's a reason for him to be the way that he is. And he's manipulative, and even when he fights, he makes the silly decision at the end to fight Maximus, but he loads the odds in his favor. He loads the odds in his favor by stabbing him.
Yeah, I think they've seen the film though.
Yeah,
it's 24 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, all of the behaviour in that. By the way, Harvey,
when he was saying stabbing him, he's like looking at me, like doing like a gesture, showing him where he stabbed him in the ribs. And I'm like, bruv, I saw the fucking film. Like, I'm here. Everyone's seen it.
for the listener. The gesture is for the listener as well. But but the problem I have with Gladiator 2 is, outside of a lot of it just completely being pointless, is they just fundamentally miss the point of, and I don't think. They fundamentally miss what made the first movie good, And I can't believe it's the same director. It's actually mind-blowing it's the same director.
It isn't the same director in many senses.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I know what you mean. But so Paul Mescal, he gives a good performance. He's miscast.
So
and
here's
he's not,
what I'll say: if I've got my hat on for being, and I am wearing a hat, 'cause that's what the microphone's clipped to. I hope this sounds good.
We'll see.
Is Paul Mescal is in a golden handshake there? What the fuck do you do? Listen. So Ridley Scott says he's flicking through TV one day and he sees normal people.
Normal people, yeah.
And he says that man has a Roman nose, looks like Marcus Aurelius.
does, yeah,
So he could play Maximus in da-da-da-da-da-da. Before you know it, Mescal gets nominated for an Oscar. Even he says this is a bit silly. Why am I nominated for an Oscar? And now he goes, right, we're making Gladiator 2. Oh, no, thanks. No, big man, you have to do Gladiator 2. You have to. So he's going down to set being like, well, fuck my ass. How do I do this? How do I... also, my biggest thing was don't call it Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Call it anything else. And that's just... I think it's everything wrong with... And, it doesn't make any historical sense.
No, I mean... But
they didn't flood the Colosseum.
The first one didn't really make any historical sense. But that's less the issue that I have with it more so than that is... just the script is just not there in any way, shape, or form. So, Paul Mescal, I think he's bad cast. He's a fantastic actor when it's close, small, intimate moments and small scenes. It's what normal people is.
Yeah.
It's small acting. And I don't mean that in any negative way. I think he's brilliant.
Of course, I know.
But that's not what the character requires. You're told, everyone's talking about Paul Mescal's character in it, and he's full of rage. It's is he? I don't see that in Paul's face.
Really?
He doesn't look full of rage, but the script is just bad, and you don't know, you don't need to be told that Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, is full of rage.
No.
You can see it in his fucking bones the moment he walks onto.
But also, you find out why Maximus was full of rage because you've been there since his.
So
story.
you find that out as well with Paul Mescal, but it's just not. You don't care as much, and he's not a good he becomes this leader in the movie, but he becomes a leader because the script tells us that he's a leader, and everyone's like, oh, we love him. And he's this leader, but in Gladiator 1, so remember when you meet Maximus's character, he's lumped in with loads of slaves that don't trust him.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning, they're about to fight at the chariot in the Colosseum. And he's like, anyone here been in the army? And they're like,
I serve with
what?
you. No.
Yeah, and then he's like, great, we stay together as one, we live to see another day. But as one, and then they're like, and one of the big German guy's like, no, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Then they go out, and they state as one, but the big German guy gets himself in trouble, and Maximus saves him, so earning the respect and trust, right? And then he's commanding them with tactics like single column, and you see Maximus be a good leader. You see him be a good leader.
So what you're saying is we're watching. So
it's believable.
It's self-fulfilling. We watch him become a leader as he's becoming a leader, whereas with Mescal, we are just told loads of things about him, and
that's it. I think what I'm saying
also,
is...
I bet Gladiator 2 doesn't have DJ Huseman, the black guy who says, "You'll see."
No, he's amazing. Why would they not get him in?
Yet.
Dude, when I saw
I don't mean getting him in again. I'm talking about a character.
The character that strong, no.
Right.
There's a version of that
tertiary character. Of course, there'll be a version of him, but they'll be writing it in because they feel they need to.
Yeah.
This is what I remember about Gladiator is Maximus Decimus Meridius, father.
Yeah.
When I think of Titanic, I think of flares.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think
Iconic.
of because that's what I think of for Titanic for me, right?
Great.
When I think of Gladiator, I think of not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
And and burying the thing with the beautiful soundtrack. Yeah.
That is cinema.
Yeah,
that is when you can go and watch a film about a boat sinking.
Yeah.
And you got Leo DiCaprio running around the deck looking fit as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I think of a flare and fireworks.
Yeah.
You can watch Gladiator, people get their fucking necks cut off, and I think of him burying two little wooden soldiers saying not yet.
There's some perfect cinema.
That is the difference between then and now in movies.
I think you're probably I mean, there are people still doing it, but I think with a spectacle like big swords and sounds epic like this, I just think that as I said, Russell Crowe's character Maximus is convincing. Paul Mescal's character as Lucius is not convincing, and if the movie's lead is not convincing, the whole movie falls apart. And then that's just one element. The other elements of it are there are no scenes that are even half as good. as some of the scenes in Gladiator. You know when he gets executed and then he manages to beat the frost. Sometimes it makes the blade stick.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful lines in that movie. In Gladiator 2, there's a few lines that they've obviously tried to make like that.
Yeah.
But they're just not. Like, there's a scene, I'm just going to spoil it.
Go on.
There's a scene where Paul Mescal is fighting and he's got a wooden sword and he gets the gun on top of the guy and he stabs him in the throat and he says, a point's a point, whether wood or steel.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah,
that's awful. What is that?
Yeah.
And then, like, it's so frustrating a movie because you can see there's a good elements in it. Like Pedro Pascal in it, that he should just be the lead. I don't know why he's not the lead. His character's way more interesting, and he's barely in it. It's
And matey boy, what's Denzel saying?
Great, actually. To be fair, that's the only good thing about that movie is Denzel's performance. It's just a fantastic performance in a mediocre movie, which looks very shiny and looks very big and big explosions and like, but it's a mediocre movie, and I will forget about it by Christmas. It will just be gone completely. Whereas Gladiator 1 is something that I will go back to and watch because it's such a fucking good. Again, you said that scene. There's pure cinema. The part where he rides up to his house and the camera pulls back and you just see 2 feet come into frame. Have you
heard Russell Crowe talking? I was about to call him Russell. But have you heard Russell Crowe talking about that scene?
No.
So they said, as you said, the film had no budget, no sets were built. One of the actors fucking died. 40 pages. They're writing it on the fly.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh mate, I've got to go up to the feet. I've got to go." And Ridley's like, "We only have feet. There are no bodies there. We only have feet." It's like, mate, I've got to go up to them. Like I've come all the way.
As if that was luck.
Mate, I've come all the way here. I've got to do it. So he's like, "All right, fine, but I'm going to come in close on you because honestly, from ankles up, there ain't nothing there, big man." So and
Russell's
then
like, "That's
Russell
fine,
goes,
mate."
does the snot, everything like that, and then he just goes, "All right, yeah, one more." A touch less snot. So what you see in that film is a second take when Russell Crowe's rocked up to location on the day and gone, "Good, I need to change everything of your shot plan today because I'm doing something different." And it's one of the most remarkable. Spider-Man 1, as much as I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man and his movies are entertaining, there is a different gravitas to Spider-Man 1.
Tobey
It's
Maguire.
arguably a worse movie.
I think so.
But it's just fucking proper. And that's what the world is losing. Harvey, I'm going to suggest for the first time that we take a very short interlude and refill our coffees.
Yeah, let's do that.
And come back. Listen, talk amongst yourselves for the next sort of... I'm guessing you're going to put some music over
I'll
top
put
of this?
some music over this, yeah. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice little break yourselves. Got a little coffee, refreshment.
Did you travel?
Who knows?
Who knows? How did you use your time?
Yeah.
Use it wisely because there's a finite amount.
There is a finite amount. Actually, using that as a jumping off point in terms of having life being fleeting.
Yeah.
Just to the time to current events. No, it's actually quite positive.
Sure.
The CEO of a health insurance company got assassinated. In New York on 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
Early hours of the morning in New York, which is like outside the Hilton and 6th Avenue. That avenue is known as Avenue of the Americas. Right? It's so busy.
For my sins, I had to find the video.
I've seen the video, yeah.
My God.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
It is
smooth.
Absolutely terrifying. For those of you who don't know, you've been living under a rock, a guy literally walks up behind him, puts a silence on, pops him 3 times.
Pops him.
Apparently the gun jams.
No, it doesn't. No, this is the thing that annoys me about it. So, what are they called? They're called United Healthcare Insurance Company. So they are
disgusting people.
Well, yeah. Out of also, America in general, the healthcare system's fucked. It generates so much pain and suffering to every American. And they're an armed nation. I don't know why this didn't happen sooner. United Healthcare, they're in the top % of the worst track record of denying people claims.
Wow.
Or denying people payment, right?
Wow.
So they'll pay them like $12,000, $25,000 a year, and then they'll get cancer or they'll get a horrible health condition, and then United Healthcare will be like, "Sorry, we've reviewed your payment. We're actually denying your healthcare." And they're denying people chemo. They're denying people surgery and like the one that someone said to me, they're denying people anti-seizure medicine. Do you know what I mean? It's like no wonder. And also, let just say, like I think you can't just be killing people in the street. I think you can't be the world we live in where we're cheering someone getting assassinated in cold blood. I don't really want to live in that world.
That's not cool. Yeah,
it's uncool. I think we should just vote in people that fucking will give you healthcare, America.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that's
the
answer, isn't it?
The thing is, you're coming. Like, I think America now is. Yeah, how mental is it that Christopher Columbus comes over, right? Comes over from and gets from New York, travels all the way across, gets to the Grand Canyon, and goes, "See the other side? That's mine as well." What?
Sorry, Chris. Chris, just come here for a second. Stop standing and gesturing. Come in, just sit down.
Chris, there's no way to get. How are you going to get over that? I don't know how we're going to get over there. But what I'm saying is, when we are over there, that is also mine.
You can't. This isn't a shotgun sort of situation, Chris. It's not like you can't just dibs.
Yeah,
there's a big portion of land.
I know what
Chris.
I can and can't do, but have you got guns? No, I have loads of guns.
Right.
And
that does change.
That's mine as well now.
That does change things.
Mental. America's too big. Right?
Huge, yeah.
And the fact that like there's too many different types of people, like I think it's just broken.
I find it hilarious though that not hilarious, but the fact that every single in a country that is massively divided politically, everyone from both right and left have been like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh really?
Because find me
even on the right.
Yeah, especially on the right. Yeah, like because every American family has been affected by. Every American family will have a horrible healthcare story. There is so much pain and suffering generated by shit healthcare in America. They're fucking furious at it, and I think they need to sort it out. But I just don't think. I don't think the American populace. It's weird, man. It's weird that Trump has been voted in twice. It's not because I understand it. But it's like I don't think America. Like I don't understand why they're not pushing for like healthcare, like the NHS. Like why is no? And when people do push for that, they get called communists, or they get. It's like, well, what do you like? What it's fucked, America. It's fucked, and like, I think, like Trump is now gonna just. He's a con man, right? He's gonna put in, and he is putting in people into his cabinet. I don't know what I'm not massively clued up on American politics enough, but like
good to wildly speculate about it though.
Yeah, oh, of course. Yeah. But this is the Lack of Focus podcast,
definitely,
with Matt Bentley and Harvey Quinn,
definitely.
And I will be speculating,
definitely.
I think that like they need to get a fucking hold of it, mate. They need to get a fucking hold of it.
And that's from the tippy top.
And that's from the tippy top.
That's from the absolute.
Oh, did you see Biden pardoned his son?
Yeah, that's very bad as well.
It's awful corruption is what it is.
It's not cool.
It's awful corruption, but the fact that, and obviously it's like reprehensible, and it's just so stupid because it's fueling the fucking, it's giving ammunition to his.
Having said all that, you're looking forward to our annual LA trip?
Oh, massively so.
Very much so. Very much
so. Because LA and New York very separate.
Very much so. Yeah, because we do have a jolly there.
We do have a knees up,
and we always get. And we're halfway across the Atlantic, and we're sinking our drinks.
Oh,
and we're saying we're going to be so bloody productive this time. We're going to be so bloody productive.
Yeah, so bloody productive, sinking drinks with reckless abandon.
And then all we do is go to Jumbo's Clown Room.
Yeah, to be fair, it's banging.
Which is not a strip club.
It's not a strip club.
Okay, it's a brilliant. I was going to say family joint, but it's for couples. It's just a fun night where there happen to be dancers as well. It's a brilliant night out. Yeah. If you ever are in LA, I mean, I can't recommend it enough. Yeah. It's probably one of the absolute highlights of the entire city. And there aren't many. They have a beach and some weather.
It's not a strip club.
It's
it's definitely not a strip club.
Tell you what, it's not. It's not a strip club.
It's not a strip club.
So get your head out there, fucking gutter.
Oh, you know how I feel about blue language and head in the gutter.
We let ourselves down that night.
Yeah. But look, you know what? I'll do it again.
I know, me too. Me too, man.
Again.
Me too.
Again and again. Don't underestimate.
Speaking of people letting themselves down, I was in a sauna. If I could just shock you.
Oh, really?
For a second. Now, Harvey, when you're in your sauna, are people talking?
Annoyingly so. Yes. They
really?
Are. Yeah. Sometimes, mostly not. But every now and again, you'll get people come in and be like, rattling on.
Really?
And there was these two girls sat opposite me a few months ago, and they were talking about relationship.
Yeah.
And they're sitting a foot away from me.
Yeah.
So it's me and them. That's it. There's in the sauna, and they're talking, but they're like, they're not whispering. They're just lowering their voice like this. They're like, oh yeah, this happened, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like 2 feet from them, so I just go, oh, what happened next?
No, yeah, I mean, honestly,
and they were like, what?
Yeah,
and I was like, I can hear everything you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
And you're winding me up now.
So the sauna that I go to is it's a huge one. I don't know why I'm being so coy about it. It's the fucking White City Soho House, right? And it's
in case anyone wants to track you down.
Yeah, I'm there a lot. You'll get me.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think if you're not, whatever. It's and it's a big sauna, and they've said now recently you are not allowed to talk in there. And these two girls, women, they're younger than me, but they're Gen Zers, and they were just, Harvey, you know me, mate. I'll have a pop at anybody.
Oh yeah, big time.
But it's because what I don't like the most in life is injustice. I don't like things being unfair. And I'm not saying I sit around saying that's so unfair on me. I'm talking for the general public.
Yeah.
I don't like injustice. It's why I will follow people on my Vespa if I see them like cut someone up in a car.
Yeah.
And then I'll get in front of them and drive really slowly in front of them.
Injustice is the thing that properly gets me emotional more than anything.
Me too, man. Really
I only recently found that out about myself.
And these girls are just absolutely not lowering their voice, just chomping away. And several people in that sauna are trying to read, and they're all too they're not punchy like me, I guess. And they're rolling their eyes, they're getting annoyed, and these girls are just like incessant. Like this is the general conversation they're having. They're saying, it was giving like Nepo vibes. It was giving this.
Stop saying giving.
And,
what are you talking about?
That was fucking winding me up so much, right? Now, for the record, this is not a sexist thing. I also told this.
That's always a really funny way to begin anything.
In the steam room.
In the record, this is not a sexist thing.
In the steam room, a week previously, these two guys came in and
they were shit munchers as well.
They were talking about having like explosive diarrhea on a first date, and it was very steamy in the steam room, so it's hard to see. And I shouted, I was like, my guy, you need to be quiet because you need to shut up, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this big thumb in front of me, give me like the thumbs up.
You're like massive hand.
Like this big dude was like, yeah, and I was like, see, I'm a man of the people. So these people in there, they're talking away.
You're often known. People call you the people's poet as well.
Thank you very much.
So that's the name that is used.
It was almost going to be the name of this podcast. And these guys are just whittering away, and these people look at me. So I just feel like, right, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
So I said to them, and this is exactly how I did it. I said, I'm so sorry. I feel so embarrassed saying this, but like we're all having the conversation with you. You are talking, so you're not supposed to talk in here. Please, can I ask you to stop talking? Yeah. She looks back at me and she goes, well, you can remove yourself. And I was like,
I'm going to kill you now.
I was like, true, but that's your rule that you're not supposed to be talking to that. And then my guys came into bat for me.
Oh, sick! Did they?
4 other people.
That's amazing.
Chimed in.
I bet you'd feel like a right cunt if that were you. Like if you were the girl.
Exactly.
You'd be like, oh
exactly.
No, yeah.
They kept talking, so I was like, right, I may talk a big game here, but do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell the teacher. Because I know the girl who works at the poolside, because I say hello to her and I say thank you to her every time I go.
Nice.
Every day, because it's polite, you know?
Of course.
What I hate a lot about people who have clearly never worked in service in their lives is they don't acknowledge people who work in service as people.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
This is a real fucking person in front of you handing you your towel.
Yeah, look them in the eye.
You must look them in the eye and say thank you or hello or good morning or goodbye. What, like, it's insane. So I'm not saying I'm like a hero for doing it, but I do it and I have a rapport with this person. So I went out and I said, I still don't know her name for my faults, but she doesn't know mine. I'm really, really sorry. There are these girls and they were here by the poolside screaming, I'll go in. I'm so sorry, it's not your fault, but it's just unbelievable. Yeah. And I thought, do I watch the grenade go off? I thought, no, cool guys don't look at explosions. I'll walk away from this one and I'll imagine how that has gone out. And I'm still reveling off of it.
That's so
and
good.
I know, and this is what, so there was a comedian in the sauna at the same time called Josh Berry, who's on TikTok. So a lot of people on TikTok are terrible comedians. They're just not funny. And they do this whole posh thing of being like, oh, people don't clap and oh yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I hate that.
He does a similar thing, but he's funny. And he does good impressions of like Roger Federer. Google it. I actually rate him, and he has a lot of self-deprecation about himself. I think he's quite jokes. He was in there as well, and I know that he recognised me because the second I started talking, he started laughing, got on his phone, and was clearly texting someone saying, that TikTok guy, Matt Bentley's just laying into someone.
Big time.
And I just want people to know that I'll walk the walk. I know I'll give it belt and braces. I don't care.
Yeah, of course.
You can't. People are trying to read. Not me, obviously. If you read Masona, you're a dickhead. Do you know what I mean?
Who's reading in a steamer?
You're gonna get sweaty, chap.
Your book's gonna get waterlogged in a steamer.
Yeah, all the pages are gonna start dropping out because of the saltiness of your
you're
sweat.
Feel very silly.
So that was sort of what happened to me, and I don't know whether people at my gym think that I'm a piece of. I think people think. I don't know how many people recognise me in real life. I
think probably quite a lot. Given that you live in London.
I think,
and you're sort of about that sort of part of town, the trendy spots.
When my voice agent meant to meet me, she was like, "I thought you were just going to be a piece of shit."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that my outward image, Harvey?
No. But no, I it's impossible to ask me that.
True,
because I've known you very, very well. So
you know my most vulnerable sides.
Yeah. Well, also, I think, it's like I can't really be. It's so hard to be, completely objective when looking at your self tapes or your acting.
It's hard to watch
because it's like if you see me be a bad guy in a self tape, you know that I'm fucking an idiot. I know. So it's like I don't believe it.
I know.
It's so hard, but to anyone that doesn't know me and watching it, maybe it's. And I seem to get cast as these not bad guys, but nutters.
You have the face for it. Yeah.
I don't have got the face for it, but when I watch it back, I always it always cringes me out because I know what I'm thinking in this tape.
Yeah.
I know what I'm thinking on this whatever. It's hard. Although to be fair, but that's why it's really impressive when you do nail a tape because it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's even knowing you, it's still fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah. I am bloody good.
And you are bloody good. Do you know what I mean? As we just tie back to the beginning of this podcast, we said, do you know what I mean? I am better than Chalamet.
Correct.
It's mental that we're not getting Chalamet money.
Oh, it is.
We're not getting Chalamet money. We're not even getting podcast money. So once again,
we're not getting any money.
Be grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to be. I think this is going to allow us to do this quite semi-regularly.
I'm going to see what the audio sounds like because it could be shit.
Well, look, if it is shit.
I'll still put it out.
I don't want to be hearing any complaints from you. Not you, the listener.
The listener, yeah. We want constructive letters. I want construction. If you are working in construction, write in as well. I don't just want farmers because we just got a lot of farmers these days.
Well, the farmers are losing their inheritance.
I know, it is sad. It's sad.
It is sad.
They do it for the love of farming as well, don't they?
I don't think all of them do.
No, a lot of them. I mean,
but I do feel I don't know if you've been a long time listener to the show, but I have said in the past that I do respect farmers a lot. It's a very lonely existence, and I think I think Labour's fucked them.
Yeah. Do you know who I respect?
Go on.
Crane drivers.
Oh man.
Loneliest job in the world. That.
And also the reality of the actual reality of being a crane driver, is that Spider-Man cannot come and save you.
No, you're fucked. Imagine if you had a full.
Genuinely, you are fucked up.
Yeah. Superman probably could.
Imagine if you had a full.
Yeah, imagine if you had a full.
That's the one thing guaranteed.
You don't want to have you don't want to have a fall as a crane driver.
I was gonna say imagine if you need to run downstairs. No. If you obviously, brother.
Imagine if you had a fall as a bouncy castle operator, you'd be fine, wouldn't you? That's one thing you can do. What you don't want to do is have a suffocate as a bouncy castle operator. Asphyxiation, yeah. You want to avoid that.
Yeah, you're in trouble if you asphyxiate.
Yeah, because then I don't know the legal recourse for something like that. No, but I imagine it's quite complex.
Yeah, we've rattled on now for just over an hour.
Great.
I think that's a pretty good time.
That's good. Let's end it there.
Listen, welcome back. We didn't want you here. You're here now. Welcome.
Yeah.
If you're new to the podcast. You're lucky because we have a sort of a New Year deal on, so you're allowed to enter. This will be behind a paywall, probably by June next year.
Easily, we'll put this on YouTube, but we'll just put a few nice images on it instead of
put a sunset.
The video,
or something.
Lovely sunset.
Put a nice sunset.
That'd be quite nice, actually.
Something peaceful, something nice.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice.
There's a lot of pain in the world.
There's too much.
Keep it jolly.
So we'll do that, and if you can like and subscribe, do that.
God, stop asking them to. If they want to do it, they'll just do it.
Yeah, but also they won't. Do you know what they won't? They won't though because people are idiots.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And they're just like, oh, like a lot of I get the analytics, I get the data, and I crunch that data.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you
so
do.
I know that most people that are listening aren't subscribed.
Really?
Yeah, 70% of our YouTube listeners aren't subscribed. So are you just manually typing in lack of focus number 30?
That's pathetic.
Just like it and subscribe to it, and then you get the little notification, and you'll be like, oh, Matt and Harvey have been about, because we are about. Because we are about. So do that, and you'll know when we're about, as opposed to having to type it in with your little fingers.
Yeah.
And they, you know, but on Spotify, yeah, you probably they are subscribed.
Cool.
So yeah.
All right, mate. Well, we'll see you sort of this time next week, sort of vibes.
Lovely.
Or maybe in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.